New World Operating System. A systemic leap from debt civilization to consumer ownership. The numbers on the global debt clock tick every second, like the electrocardiogram of a civilization, signaling its dying breath. Global debt now exceeds 300% of GDP. Governments are fighting gravity with money printing machines, while ordinary people's leisure time and consumption data flow continuously into the vaults of tech oligopolies. The Great Debt Crisis and internal and external order changes, warned by Ray Dalio, are unfolding simultaneously. Yet all traditional remedies merely circle within the same old system. The fundamental flaw of this system lies in a mathematical formula. Selfishness equals selfishness. Private equals private. It creates a zero-sum chessboard, where players fill every square with debt until the board collapses. To escape this doomed game, we do not need better players. We need a brand new chessboard. 0-1 system collapse. The old world trap. Under the debt clock. Data from the Institute of International Finance shows grimly, global debt has surpassed $307 trillion, more than 3 times the size of the global economy. Central banks act like drivers reversing at the edge of a cliff, unable to keep printing money without stoking inflation, yet unable to stop without triggering collapse. This dilemma is no accident. It is the inevitable outcome of the old world operating system. In the traditional mindset, the formula for value creation is linear. Labor time times productivity equals output value. This framework divides humanity into producers and consumers, and time into working hours and leisure hours. Producers, entrepreneurs, capitalists accumulate capital through exclusive equity ownership, while consumers' leisure time and consumption are treated as the end of value creation, not its source. This structure may have worked in the industrial age, but in the internet age, it has become the root of all contradictions. 0-2 value misalignment. The obscured infinity and the amplified finite. What is the true nature of the internet? A new world. In this world, people's smartphones are the land. Humans are the landlords. People's leisure time is labor. Humans are the workers. People's consumption is oxygen. It holds the power of life and death. Yet the free and shared business model has colonized this new world. Google, Facebook, Tencent, Alibaba, these digital age Columbuses, declared they had discovered a new continent, while the natives, global internet users, became tenant farmers on their own land. Every swipe, click, browse, and purchase creates value for these tech empires. Your preference data becomes fuel for AI training. Your social connections become the foundation of platform stickiness. Your consumption records become targets for precision advertising. But what do you receive in return? Free services? No. You have paid with something far more precious, time and attention, whose value is systematically valued at 0 in the free model. 03. The new slavery. When leisure time becomes a free commodity, medieval slavery seized ownership of the human body. Industrial capitalism purchased working hours. The internet age has invented a new slavery that seizes people's leisure time and digital identity without compensation. This system has produced the most unequal wealth transfer in history. Tech companies now account for over 35% of the market capitalization of the S&P 500. What is the core asset of these companies? Not factories, not machines. It is user-generated data, content, and social networks, precious resources contributed freely by billions worldwide. This inequality fuels not only economic crises but also an existential crisis for humanity. When the most free and creative part of life, leisure time, is systematically defined as worthless, the very coordinate system of human life begins to distort and collapse. 04. The old world's debt cycle. A structural death spiral. The global debt crisis, environmental destruction, social division, and AI backlash. These seemingly unrelated issues share a single root: the old world operating system of exclusive ownership. In this system, commercial banks survive by constantly creating debt. When internet oligopolies monopolize the right to tax consumption data through free services, commercial banks lose their ability to judge future investments. To survive, banks push debt onto governments, real enterprises, and the public, creating an ever-expanding debt bubble. Governments borrow to maintain stability. Enterprises leverage to survive. Households go into debt to consume. What is the end of this cycle? Ray Dalio's cycle theory provides the answer. internal conflict, wealth redistribution, and order restructuring. Historical data shows such debt cycles peak every 75-100 years, triggering systemic reorganization. We are at precisely such a turning point. 05. The lesson of mass energy equivalence. Economics in E equals mc squared. Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, reveals the fundamental law of the universe. Mass and energy are different expressions of the same essence, convertible via the speed of light squared. Applied to economics, a strikingly similar logic emerges. Consumption mass and production energy are two sides of the same economic essence. Consumers' smartphones and leisure time, multiplied by the internet C, at light speed squared, generate infinite economic energy. In the old world, this equation is broken. Producers, capitalists, entrepreneurs hold exclusive equity. Consumers contribute for free. No conversion channel exists between them, creating a system of value fracture. In the new world, the equation operates in full. M vezes C igual a E dividido por C. Consumers' smartphones and leisure time create infinite economic value through the internet. The light speed channel. This value flows back transparently to its creators. 06. The new operating system. A universal public market of consumer ownership. The key to solving the problem lies within the problem itself. The internet, the tool of the new slavery, can also become the tool of liberation. A universal public market based on consumer ownership is precisely this new operating system. Its core mechanism is simple and powerful. Sole buyer status. As a coalition of global consumers, the public market becomes the sole buyer. All producers must enter to access orders. Infinite profit. Future total consumption infinity times n% distribution commission equals infinite profit. Limited store of value. Finite store of value currency issued against infinite profit as collateral. Global intelligence mobilization. Use infinite profit to mobilize global intelligence and build a consumer-owned intelligence system. The mathematical foundation of this system. Consumer selfish cooperation equals producer selfless competition. Consumers' selfishness, choosing high quality and low prices, is a stable fulcrum. This fulcrum drives producers to compete selflessly, pursuing the optimal combination of technology. 0782 Sharing Infinity, a new value distribution algorithm. In the old world's 20/80 law, 20% of people control 80% of resources, a structural inevitability of exclusive equity. In the new world's 80/20 shared model, the structure is redesigned. Consumers 80% dominate the market. Producers 20% receive ample incentives. Crucially, since the system lasts eternally infinity, enterprise value equals profit times eternity equals infinity. Infinity times 80% equals infinity. Här 20% is stillgör. This formula reveals the essence of the new system, a shift from zero-sum game to infinite game. In this system, every region can innovate like Silicon Valley. Global technology becomes a shared resource. Work transforms from obligation to right. Value creation shifts from labor to passion. 90% of labor time is liberated for creation, learning, love, and life. 08 Opening the new world. From thought experiment to practical path. A thought experiment reveals the launch mechanism. If people in Europe each contribute €1 to crowdfund a new retail platform, the power of consumers becomes unstoppable. When consumers awaken to their own power and cooperate, global capital and enterprises have only one choice. Surana. The reason is simple. Consumption is the oxygen of the market. It holds the power of life and death. Launching the new world requires no violent revolution, only cognitive awakening. The internet compresses time and space into every individual's hands. The speed of information allows global consensus to form almost instantly. If leisure time is guided by mathematical consensus, a single message can reach all consumers in one day. This speed exceeds that of any government or institution, and is the only way to responsibly steer AI. 09. The economics of love, a realistic path beyond utopia. All utopian experiments rest on a fragile foundation. Human selflessness. Yet selflessness glorifies the individual, not the system, and thus must fail. The New World economic stands on a solid foundation. Human selfishness Consumer selfish cooperation equals producer selfless competition. This structure acknowledges human nature while guiding the system toward optimal outcomes. This is not utopia. It is a kingdom of light, a system built on selfishness and the so-called useless class, glorifying truth and the divine. In this system, consumers are stewards of the divine, managing the sacred trust of the market. Love is not an abstract, moral concept here. It is the underlying code of economic operation. Love for family, love for community, love for hometown, love for nation, love for humanity, love for all creation. This expansion of love opens the spatial axis, redefining the coordinate system of life. The debt crisis is merely an error message from the old world operating system, and tech oligarchs are its final beneficiaries. Traditional economists are like passengers rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, arguing over color, material, and angle, yet no one questions the ship's flawed design and course. A public market of consumer ownership is not a utopian fantas. It is code from the future, already existing in fragments. Open source collaboration, platform cooperatives, and decentralized autonomous organizations. When these fragments are assembled by the ultimate algorithm, consumer selfish cooperation equals producer selfless competition. Every tick of the global debt clock will no longer signal doom, but the countdown to the birth of a new world.